Another way I've been tracking my goals is creating hole punch cards for this year. I saw that all over TikTok at the beginning of 2026, and that really inspired me to create my own. So this isn't my idea, and I think it's been going on for years, because when I actually did research, I saw people making hole punch cards for like the beginning of the school year, or for even years back in like 2020, 2022. So apparently this has always been a thing, and I'm just late to the trend, I guess, but I've mainly been seeing it on my feed in 2026 and back in January. So that made me want to make my own note cards. And I actually already did a few of the things on my note cards, or on my punch cards. I just didn't punch them out because I wanted to make this video first and show them off, because I tried really hard making these note cards and used the full extent of my drawing abilities, and I wanted to be able to show that and share that somewhere before I punched any of the holes out. And I'm also don't even really plan on punching them out. I plan on just crossing it out with a pen, because that's how much I don't want to cover or ruin the art on this, because you might think it's not that good, but for me, I did a good job drawing this. I'm artistic in different ways. I'm not artistic in a drawing or coloring sort of way. So I'm proud of myself with these note cards. I've also seen people give themselves rewards on their note cards. I pull them out, I keep talking about it. But they make their punch cards, I keep calling them note cards. Punch cards, I made them on note cards. But I see people give themselves rewards, like maybe on the back put what they will earn once they complete the punch cards. And also, if you're not familiar with punch cards, it comes from that idea of like certain cafes offer punch cards that if you order a certain amount of drinks, you get a free drink. So every time you go to the cafe, you give them your card, they'll punch a hole in it saying you bought a drink. So then eventually, once you have your 5 drinks, 10 drinks, whatever their policy is, then you get a free drink. So with that idea of hole punching equals a reward, I have seen people set a reward for theirs. I don't have a reward for any of my goals. For one, I couldn't really think of anything. And for two, I wanted the goals themselves to be the fun thing, not necessarily like I'm trying to earn anything out of it. Some people had more difficult goals or something they were working towards. So I understand why they would put rewards for theirs, but I'm trying to kind of steward and like enjoy my life again. So a lot of the goals I have are actually fun things that should act as a reward in themselves. So I don't really need something special for like trying to engage in my hobby more. But just to go through them, I have to go outside, and each one of these images is the hole that I would punch. So I have to go outside 5 times. I try to draw a cactus, a flower, a cloud, a mushroom, and a bumblebee. Also, I did hole punch all of the cards and just used an old keychain that I have, because I never use keychains, but I get like free keychains. I got this keychain back in like the 9th grade or something when we went to the World of Coke for a school field trip, and then I just never used it. So again, with that whole idea of stewarding what you have, this keychain has been sitting here for like a decade now. Yeah, it actually has been like a decade since the 9th grade, so I'm old as well. Well, I'm not old, but older. And then I have Bible plans and reflections. I've been trying to read the Bible more, and I have a goal of reading the Bible in a year, but I also want to actually reflect on the things that I read, because I think sometimes you just read it and then move on with your life, and I want to actually think about what I was reading and consider it. And I do kind of reflect on the Bible, but I've never read it all the way through and really like annotated it in any way. I kind of just do like Bible study where you kind of jump around to different books. So I wanted to kind of understand the entire story of the Bible better. So I have like a little journal and pen, a stack of books, the Bible, and then like 3 more random books. And then I put washi tape on the edge just to decorate it some more. And I know I've been talking about faith in God and the Bible a lot in this video, and it may surprise you to know I don't actually even consider myself a Christian. I consider myself interfaith, and I try to also read other religious texts, and I've taught other religious texts as a teacher, but I've never read any of them all the way through. And I think just part of being more spiritual is having a better understanding of religion as a whole, and that's part of the reason of like reading the Bible all the way through. I do believe in the Bible, I just wouldn't call myself a Christian, and I try to observe the entire Bible, and so I don't know how else to really consider myself religiously besides spiritual or interfaith. I also wanted to write more, because I used to write a lot, but not as much. So I have like the the feather and the ink. I'm really proud of myself for that drawing. You probably can't tell what this is, but it's supposed to be a laptop, a pen, a notebook, some paper. I feel like that turned out pretty well as well. This is supposed to be a teacup. I did my best, please don't judge. Some books, another like mug of hot chocolate, could be a coffee mug, but I don't drink coffee, and then another book. And then I kind of just decorated the outside and colored the background of it. Again, using old color pencils I've always had and just never used, old note cards I've always had and never used, just to use the things I own even from the very start. This is to read more books. It's probably the most hole punches of any cards I've created for my goals, because it's always my goal to read 25 books in a year. And I know I spelled books wrong. I don't know how I managed to do that, but oh well. I don't care to change it because I'm not redoing this whole entire thing, and I don't want it, I think it would look worse if I tried to like scribble a K over that or try to erase it because colored pencil, it will smudge. So I drew like pen, books, headphones, more tea, and like boba tea. I love boba tea. Mugs and bookshelves and stuff, just to represent all the books I plan on reading. I've already read a couple of books this year, I think 11 books this year, but like I said, I'm not hole punching anything yet. And I have a cat reading a book. It's so cute. I did my best. So you can be creative with these. Like, even though it's a reading goal, I still put like a pencil, mugs. It's supposed to be a bookmark, so you don't necessarily have to do like books because your goal is reading books. You can be like creative with it. Also have using coping strategies. This is more like a mental health stewardship sort of goal, because I am a very emotional person, and I think it's easy to let our emotions kind of get control out of us, so, or like control us. So I wanted to focus more on using actual coping strategies and not like going off the deep end every single time something goes wrong. So I put like a mug because it can be nice to like drink something hot when you're stressed out. The moon, that's supposed to be a star. I've never been able to draw a star, forgive me. But the moon and like a star, because I think sleeping is also a good way to kind of regain your emotion. I found every time I take a nap, I usually feel at least more calm. Even if I don't feel better, I feel calmer. Music is also a big help for me. Drinking water, getting sunlight, talking to a friend, journaling, and then a heart can represent like a lot of things, of like having support systems, of taking time to meditate, anything of that nature. So I actually drew my coping strategies on this, and I would probably check, like if I journal, I would check off journal. If I went outside, I would check off the sun. But I wanted to use that 8 times this year. Hopefully I actually use them more, but that's my goal for someone who is really bad at actually utilizing coping strategies. I felt that was a realistic aim. Oh, and I didn't mention with the book one on why I always read 25 books a year. It's because 25 books fit on that shelf that's right there. And so I always want to read a shelf load, because that's a small shelf if you can't tell. It's like only 3 different shelves. You can see 2 ones at the bottom. So it's not really like a lot in terms of how much like the average size shelf can hold. But again, I felt that was realistic. And I really want to read books that I own, because I buy more books. And again, that's whole stewardship thing. And then I never actually read the books I already own. So I say I'm going to read a shelf load so that every year I can replace the books that are on my shelf. And I can just take them all off and put in the next books I want to read for the year. But I don't always read the books that are on my shelf. So I say about 25 books can fit on that shelf. So let me read about 25 books of the books that I own. And while this is always a goal for my year, I usually end up buying other books or going to the library and reading books that I don't own. So even if I read 25 books, it's not actually all the books I own. But this year, I'm actually going to read the books I own. And I've probably already read books that I don't own this year, but I've done way better. I can only think of one book that I read that I don't actually own, and I got it from the library, so I didn't buy anything. But I'm pretty sure the other 10 books I read this year, or maybe 9 books, don't judge me, were books I actually own. I have to actually go through it, and I'm going to make a separate video on what I read during the spring. But, oh yeah. My next thing was sewing some doll clothes. I'm also really proud of this note card. I put the same washi tape that was on the other one at the bottom. I have to link the Etsy shop I got this washi tape at, because it's so, one, I just love the look of it. 2, I like supporting like Etsy businesses instead of going on Amazon or something and buying washing tape. So I got this and this one. When we get to that card, you'll see it better. So I got 2 washi tapes from that Etsy shop that I'll link in the description. But I did like a roll of fabric. This is supposed to be a needle and some thread. Again, don't judge me, I'm trying. I probably should have made the thread come out the other side, and that would make it more clear, but oh well. Like one of those mannequins you use to hang clothes on, a clothespin, the push pin things that you keep the pins in, I'm not sure what it's called, and a sewing machine. So I've gotten really into sewing clothes. For my dolls, I collect like an amateur customizer of Blythe dolls, if you ever heard of them. Everyone I know calls them creepy, but I think they're very cute, and I like making outfits for them. And I own a lot of old clothes that like either don't fit or stained up and like can't be donated. I don't like donating like broken stainy clothes, like if there's a hole in it or there's stains on it, because I'm like, who wants that? Nobody wants a stained up shirt, and I have enough clean things, clean, non-whole, non-falling apart clothes that don't fit or that I don't want that I can donate. So I'm using these old ones that are donatable to sew new doll clothes, because 1, I don't have to go out and buy fabric, 2, I'm not just throwing out old clothes. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal for that goal, or maybe even 3-for-1, because I get to do the hobby of sewing. And then arts and crafts is separate from sewing because I see them as two separate goals. I like a lot of different arts and crafts sort of things. So I really want to focus on sewing more, but I also want to focus on the other stuff, and I didn't want to combine them because I wanted to do them more. Like there's a certain amount of sewing I wanted to do, so I didn't want to put it in with arts and crafts. And it seems like I'm now limiting myself with how much I can sew or how much arts and crafts I can do because I don't want to take away from sewing time. But so I did like a easel, a book, or like a journal, however you want to call it, a pencil, computer, scissors, a tube of paint, a ball of yarn, another journal, paintbrush. I forget what these things are called that hold the paint. It'll come to me later, and then I'll be embarrassed that I didn't know it now. But I'm sure you know what these things are called, that you hold the different colored paints in while you paint. And while I don't paint, I wanted something cute to draw for arts and crafts, and I actually got a paint set for my birthday last year. So I was like, I need to use this stuff. Like, my family was nice enough to give me some paints and some canvases, so it's like, let's store what we have and utilize it. This one is kind of weird, also don't judge me, but to play dolls, because I have a lot of dolls. I have old Bratz dolls, which is what I tried to draw here. This is a Bratz doll. This is just like a generic sort of looking doll. I tried to draw Blythe's doll, that's why her eyes are so big. She looks more creepy than cute, which I guess is how a lot of people see Blythe dolls. But I want to play with my dolls more because I'm keeping them for virtually no reason right now. I just have them like in my drawer, and my Blythe dolls are like on a pillow over there where I pretend it's their bed that they're sleeping on. I call it a pillow. It's actually like a seat cushion, so it's very big, and that's their bed. And it seems like childish to say like, oh, I want to play with dolls, but why not? Why not be a little childish? We watch cartoons, we play video games, and we played video games as little kids, and we play video games as adults, so why can't dolls be something that transcends age, especially if I already own them? And I always enjoyed playing with them, so I feel like it'll help me like get back in tune with my inner child. And I can make a whole video on how a lot of like male toys are seen as ageless and timeless, and you can always play with them, whereas like girl toys or female toys are seen as childish and only for while you're a little girl. Not even for all little kids, it's always for little girls. And I don't like that, and I'm not going to live in those sexist ideologies anymore. I'm not letting that control me. I also have, you can't really read it, but it says wear real clothes, and this is the other washi tape I was talking about. I feel like you can't even get the full beauty of it because I put it on a pink note card. Probably would look better on like white, but I'll link it below so you can find it yourself. But I put wear real clothes because I find during breaks, like I'm a teacher, I get summers off, and I just don't get dressed properly. I wear sweatpants and shorts all the time. It may be a skirt, but like a flowy skirt. I like skirts. To me, skirts are not formal. They're very comfortable for me. So that's also part of like my lazy wear. Skirts are like my leggings. It's the equivalent to how most people wear leggings. So I wanted to wear more real clothes to actually get dressed. Like I take a shower and then I put on new pajamas, and I don't want to do that anymore. I want to take a shower and put on real clothes, even if I'm not leaving the house. Because again, Stuart, what I already own. I own a lot of nice clothes I never wear or wear for very specific seasons, for very specific times. Like right now it's the spring. I have a lot of cute spring outfits, but I don't go out enough, so then I never wear them, and then they just like sit in my closet or my drawer or something. And that's not good. And then I feel like I don't own anything, but really I'm just not wearing what I already own. So cooking new recipes, I only have that 4 times. So I have a knife, a tomato, a plate with supposed to be like a chicken leg on it, and a spatula. And I only have that 4 times because I don't like cooking. I hate cooking, and you can't make me cook. So I'm like, just try to cook 4 new things. Because when I do cook, I like it to be quick and easy, so something I already know how to make. And I want to get out of my comfort zone. And Stuart, the nice kitchen I get to use, I have cutlery, I have ingredients. So let's use them to make something else. It doesn't have to be something special. I'm not even saying like, oh, I need to make, I don't know, lamb chops and risotto. Just something new. Like I always just bake chicken and cook some vegetables. So let's like get out of that and make something I haven't made before, even if it's nothing special, even if it's like a different type of pasta or something. I also have clean a room, and I have a broom, a dustpan, and like a spray bottle. Again, I only have 3 things because right now I'm staying with my parents, so I don't really have many rooms to clean because everyone has their own individual room. So it leaves like my bedroom, the kitchen, and like the living room or our basement. And I keep my room pretty clean, so I wasn't even really including my room in it. So it's really like just deep clean a room 3 times in the year. And I'm also moving, so I won't be here for like after the summer. I'm moving to another state, so I kind of have to get on that quick or during a break or something. I have cleaned. I just haven't really checked any of the off on the note card because, like I said, I want to show y'all first. And I think it can be helpful because my parents let me stay with them, and it would be nice if I actually did like a deep clean. Like I straighten up, I don't leave things around, like I'm not a messy person. but I don't always like dust everything and really like deep clean. Like I'll wash the dishes, but I'm not always like mopping the floor or something. I also bake. I enjoy baking, but I just don't do it often because it can be a lot of work and effort. I'm also really proud of this page. I just like the colors that I use. I love this sort of like pink and purple. So then I have the icing. I was gonna call it a baster. I don't think that's what they're called though. And the mitten, a plate with like a cake on it, a whisk, donut, rolling pin, and then just like a bowl. So I wanted to bake something 7 times. So far this year, I think I've only baked an apple pie. I haven't baked anything else. Oh, I've made like some fairy cookies, but I don't know if that counts because that's really simple to make. It's just flour, sugar, and butter and sprinkles. And then you throw it in the oven for like 12 minutes. So I don't really know if that counts as baking. But I have complete work tasks. And I drew a clipboard, a pencil, an envelope, a paper clip, and like a sticky note with the pin in it. I've definitely done more than 5 work tasks this year, but I just haven't checked anything off again. Work tasks could be anything from, like before I was looking for new jobs. I already have a new job now. But like applying for jobs would have counted as a work task. Grading papers counts as work tasks. Sending emails counts as work tasks. I wanted to leave it vague, so anything that could fall under the category of work would count towards this. It didn't necessarily have to be like applying for jobs or grading something. And I could talk about my new job in a different video, but now we're back to the beginning. So I like this. I think it was a good idea to like hang it on a keychain just so they all stay together, and I keep it on my desk. So it's like easy access, and if I wanted to bring it someplace with me or move it around, they're all together and I'm not losing them or they're not falling all over the place or something. But I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and I hope it inspired you to maybe make your own punch cards, because for me I had a lot of fun making them, and it's never too late to start new goals. And even if you already have goals you set, you can still make the goals for, you can still make the punch cards for the goals you already set. And thank you. Bye.